Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Ugh.
How's it going, sir?
Good. License, registration, insurance, please.
What's the emergency, sir?
There's you don't have a plate on the back of your car.
Oh, I have a plate. It's a private plate.
It's a private plate?
Yeah.
Out of what state?
What you mean, what state?
What state's it?
Moorish nation state? Is there an emergency? So
There's no such thing as a Moorish nation state.
I stopped you because there's a plate.
There's a plate on the back of my car.
Okay. You have your license, registration, insurance on you?
I don't have commercial. I don't contract with the DMV. What is the emergency?
You don't have a driver's license?
Why would I have a driver's license? That's for commercial entities only.
No, it's not. I've talked about this during the other sovereign citizen videos. Driver's licenses are not just for commercial purposes. You can have specific driver's licenses for commercial purposes, but most people just have standard driver's licenses for driving private vehicles. If you want to drive your vehicle with no driver's license and no license plate, if you have a big farmland property that's all your property, you can do it as much as you want. You can get hammered and do donuts in your yard as long as you're not endangering other people. But you cannot go on private roads unlicensed, with no license plate, with no insurance. These are all things that the state has and can and do require to operate on public roads. And the Supreme Court has time and time again said, yep, the state has the right to make you do these things if you're operating on public roadways. It's the public roadways thing that I don't think these guys get. It's like they think the roads are just there, and like they don't think about where they come from or whatever, you know what I mean? The roads didn't just appear one day. They aren't this magical, like, natural occurrence. They're a thing that the government spends time and money making with your tax dollars. And as the governmental entity that has created these roads, that owns these roads, they can dictate who can drive on them for basically whatever reason they want, as long as it's not, like, discriminatory against people of a certain race or gender or whatever. The Supreme Court has said, hey, as long as you have a standard, you can make a test that people have to take to be able to drive on these roads. And that's fine. That's a good thing. Even with these tests, we have enough bad drivers on the road. I don't want people who don't even take the test to be able to be on them. Dude Spanking Dudes with a Bit says, is it racist for me to get worried every time I see a black or non-white person that is being sovereign citizen pulled over by the police, since the police have been shown to be racist shitheads? No, I don't think that's racist. I think that's recognizing that our policing system in the United States has a racial bias. That's not you being racist, it's you recognizing the racism of others.
Okay, what's your name?
What's the emergency, sir?
What's your name?
What's the emergency? Do you have ID on you?
I do.
So you have a surety bond on you? Card? Saying the district you operate of? Surety bond number? And the insurance holder?
What's your name, sir?
Thanks, Daddy Sume.
Do you have ID on you? I'm just wondering why you stopping me in my travels. I'm just on my
Because you don't have a license plate, or insurance, or a license.
way to my uncle's house. That's all I'm doing.
Okay, what's your name?
What do you need to know my appellation for? I don't have a name.
I don't have a name.
I have a title.
That's an interesting claim. I don't think I've heard that one before from your common sovereign citizen. I don't have a name. I only go by pronouns. People on the right are going to be so triggered. I only have pronouns. I don't have a name.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And they're all they, them pronouns. Ben Shapiro's head explodes.
I'm wondering are you trying to harm me or anything? Like, did I injure someone, sir?
I'm just trying to find out who you are. You don't have a plate on the back of your car.
Do you have a Fourth Amendment warrant? Because you're asking me for my private property.
You don't need a warrant to search someone. You don't. How do I put this? No. You need consent to search someone's vehicle, or you need probable cause. That's why cops will get away with saying things like, I smell marijuana, right? That's probable cause. Even if they're lying about it, the thing they're lying about is having probable cause. Excuse me. So cops can ask for your ID and your insurance and all the things they typically ask for during a traffic stop, because that's stuff that is needed in an investigation of some sort of traffic incident or traffic stop. These are all common things. It's just a thing to make sure that you're insured and have the registration to the car and that you're licensed. These are reasonable things. Again, the Supreme Court has found that this is completely fine.
Absent of a Fourth Amendment warrant signed by an Article 3 judge. That would be a competent judge. So I'm just wondering what's going on.
Do we own our license plates? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure your license plate, while you put it on your car, is a piece of technically state property. I think it's the same with your driver's license, which is why, like, I was reading a story a while back, sometime last week, where there was a woman who, she was an adult woman, she was like 23 or 24, and her crazy mom was calling her and being like, I need to borrow your car for like a week, my like neighbor needs to use it. And the daughter was like, what? No, it's my car, you can't have it. And the mom goes like, well, you're my daughter, and I'm gonna do what I want. And the daughter's like, no, you can't have the car. And the mom got all mad, and the conversation ended. The daughter comes home after being gone somewhere, and the car's gone. The mom's taken the car. She calls the mom. The mom's like, well, you're my daughter, and I'm not gonna give you the car back until you start behaving. Again, bear in mind, this woman is like in her 20s and lives on her own. She does not even live with her parents. Not that it would matter. She owns the car. Her name is the only one on the title. So, of course, the woman calls in the car missing and tells the cops, hey, my mom stole the car. The cops show up at the mom's house. The mom's like, well, she's my daughter. Blah, 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 blah. I can do what I want to punish my daughter. And the cop's like, no, you can't. She's an adult. She lives on her own. This isn't your car. You have no right to take this. And then, basically, at some point, again, the daughter's there. She comes up to the door. For some reason, I don't remember why in the interaction, the officer asks for the daughter's driver's license just to show, like, yeah, she's licensed to drive and this is her car and this is her ID. And the cop is holding the daughter's ID, and the mom snatches it and slams the door shut. And while the door's shut, she destroys the license by cutting it and opens the door and, like, throws it. And she's like, there, now you can't drive at all. And the cops arrested her not only for stealing the car, but destruction of state property, because your driver's license, at least in that state, I don't know if this is dependent from state to state, but, she destroyed the driver's license, which wasn't destroying her daughter's property, it was destroying state property. So, I don't know. Yeah, that is some narcissistic parent bullshit. I don't know. Some of these people are gosh darn psychos.
Because I'm didn't harm no one, traveling.
Yeah, well, you're traveling without a plate on the back of the car. That's why I stopped you.
What is a plate, sir?
What is a plate? The thing you put on the back of your car that's state issued, and it has the numbers and letters on them. It's basically a code that they can put into their computer system that identifies the car and who owns it, if it's up to date in terms of, like, registration. It's a pretty general understanding. I think you know.
Like, what type of plate? What are you referencing? A plate? You keep saying a plate. I don't have a plate. I don't understand. What's a plate?
A license plate.
License plate for
Yes.
commercial vehicles? A license plate? A license is a permission? I'm just wondering what's the problem. Like, I didn't harm anyone, did I?
In the state of Pennsylvania, if you get stopped by a
State
police
of
officer,
Pennsylvania
yes,
is a corporation. It's not.
It's not a corporation. It's a state.
it's actually a commonwealth. If you wanna
Which
get
is a
technical.
which is a corporation on
So-
paper. This land right here is would be Morocco, the Maghreb. The state of Pennsylvania is foreign to that, which is juristic. I'm just trying to figure out what is the issue.
again, claiming that they're, like, from Morocco. Again, this does not mean the actual Morocco that exists. Spelled that wrong. Morocco. Country located in the Maghreb region of North Africa. It overlooks the Mediterranean Sea in the north and the Atlantic Ocean to the west, with land borders with Algeria to the east and western Sahara. Here it is. There's a picture. That's where Morocco is. And again, like I mentioned, one of the first treaties that the 13 colonies signed, I don't remember if it was pre or post revolution or post Declaration of Independence. I want to say it was post, but I could be wrong. One of the first treaties that the United States signed as an entity together was with Morocco, because as you can see, I think we all took middle school history or civics or whatever. You understand the triangular trade system, the slave trade, and there was sort of a trade between North America, West Africa for slaves, and then to sort of the Caribbean and stuff, where other crops were farmed by slaves, and then that went to America, blah, 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 blah. Triangular trade. You get it. And also there was trade with, like, South America and stuff, too. Anyway, there was a treaty that was signed between the United States, as it existed at the time, and Morocco, and this treaty had to do with basically helping each other police the waters, because piracy was a big thing at the time. Of course it was. You know, so much of the world's trade was going by sea. It still does today. We still have piracy problems in some areas. But at the time, I would argue it was probably worse. So they signed a treaty together saying, like, hey, we recognize each other as nation states. We're going to help each other doing this. This is how we're going to interact with each other in our missions to try and, like, reduce piracy along these trade routes. Anyway. Moorish citizens take this treaty for some reason. I still don't have a clear answer. Maybe we'll figure it out at some point today. If not, we'll figure it out at some point. For some reason, they take this treaty to mean that actually, secretly, the United States had Morocco in it the whole time. I'm thinking of that copy pasta, or that creepy pasta where someone's like, the call is coming from inside the house. The Morocco is coming from inside the country. So they have a complete misunderstanding of a lot of things, including what Morocco is.
Issue.
Well, here's the thing. I
do.
got all night.
Okay.
So,
I
until
do
I
have,
find out who you are.
I do have identification on me.
Okay, I would like that, please.
You were like, it's right here, my wallet.
Okay.
All right. This is under threat, duress, coercion, because I don't want to have any problem. I don't want you to have a problem. I didn't.
Look, and I get that these people say this, not only Moorish citizens, but sovereign citizens. This is under threat of whatever. Like, yeah, that's what interacting with the cops is. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't do what they say, there's an implicit threat of violence, whether it be physical violence or by taking away your freedom, by putting you in jail. That's how the law works. There's always an implicit threat of violence involved in the law. That's just kind of how it works. I don't even know what a good explanation is. It would be like someone getting into a pool and I'd be like, I just want to say this water, it is making me wet. Like, yeah, we all know. You don't have to say it. Like, that's how it works. I mean, you could disagree with it and be mad about it, but, like, it's kind of how it is. It wouldn't really be the law if it wasn't backed up by some threat of force or incarceration.
You have registration and insurance on this vehicle?
No.
You don't?
Why would I have registration and insurance?
Because it's
Well,
legally
legally.
required.
Legally? You can.
Drive.
I'm not driving, sir. I'm traveling. Driving is for commercial purposes only. You can read
He said the thing! We gotta get a traveling emote.
the highlighted part.
So you don't have insurance on this vehicle?
Insurance.
Yes.
Well, that's private.
To travel on any roadway in Pennsylvania, you need insurance.
Ooh, the cops coming back at him with the traveling. Yeah, you can travel on foot all you want. I use this example all the time. If you want to Forrest Gump it, run your way from the East Coast to the West Coast and back. No one can stop you as long as you don't commit any crimes along the way. But if you want to do that in a car on public roadways, you need to follow the law. That's how it works. Your right to travel, as outlined, and often, I even think the right to travel was more outlined in, like, the Articles of Confederation than it was in the Constitution. I think the Articles of Confederation specifically say, like, you have the right to travel between the states unimpeded. Almost like a version of what the EU has, where you can have free movement between the countries. Because remember, at the time, the United States was more or less considered a confederation of individual states, more than it was considered a nation in and of itself made up of states, right? The way that we view the United States today is a little bit different than people viewed it back in the day. It was more viewed as something like we might view the EU today. Like, the EU has powers, I don't know if federally would be the right word, but, like, the EU has powers over the states that are part of the EU. But the states operate more or less autonomously. It's just that they have agreements how to, you know, move people from place to place within them. They have the right to free movement. They have the same currency, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of how the United States started and continued to be. It's just that encroaching federal powers over time, especially after the Civil War, turned the United States from sort of these United States, as in these are states that are united together into a country, to the United States. We're the United States, and you happen to live within a state in the United States. Does that make sense? It's kind of hard to explain, because it's not like a hard line thing. You can look at a document and go, this is when the United States went from this to that. It's just that over time, our perspective on the United States as citizens of it has shifted.
Okay, that's fine. Pennsylvania, what do you? You keep giving me all of these. I don't understand. What is the emergency? Who did I harm?
It's complicated, but I'm okay.
Like, I don't understand why are you trying to harm me, sir?
Yeah, I got another unit.
Are you trying to harm me, sir?
No.
Okay.
You have insurance on the vehicle?
Do I have insurance on the vehicle? Why does that even matter?
Because to travel
under what
roadway,
under what law?
You need an insurance.
Under what law?
And if you don't have insurance, you're not.
Let's see, shall we? I think he said Pennsylvania is where they are. Pennsylvania. Law requiring driver's licenses. Woo, that's a lot of typos. Pennsylvania is very strict about driving without a license, and it is forbidden. Section 1501. Drivers required to be licensed. Getting this traffic ticket is different than driving under suspicion ticket, which has different rules that regulate the penalty and possible Pennsylvania license suspension. If you're facing a license suspension for driving without a driver's license, give License Restoration Services a call or send us an email. And here's the part from the law. General rule. No person except those expressly exempted shall drive any motor vehicle, not commercial, not private, any motor vehicle. Of course, they believe that the term drive somehow means driving for commercial purposes when it does not. They're basing that off their understanding of... They're doing that based on their understanding of more or less the Black's Law Dictionary edition from the 1930s, I think, which of course is out of date at this point, and even then they're misreading the law. Upon any highway, public property in the Commonwealth, thank you, Pseudosapien, for raiding. Go check out Pseudosapien. I actually haven't. Pseudosapien, do you do like art streams? Because I know you do cool arts. Do you do art streams and stuff? If so, let me check out your channel. How do I go to your page? That's not what I wanted. The Pseudosapien. Yeah, does some gaming stuff here. Everyone check out the Pseudosapien's Twitch channel. Give her a follow. Thanks so much for rating. I appreciate it. Anyway, continuing. Driver's license under the provisions of this chapter is used in this subsection. The term public property includes but is not limited to driveways and parking lots owned or leased by the Commonwealth, the political subdivision or agency, or instrumentality of either. Penalty: any person violating subsection A of this is guilty of a summary offense and shall, upon conviction, be sentenced to pay a fine of $200, except that if the person charged furnishes satisfactory proof of having held a driver's license valid on the last day of the preceding driver's license period, and no more than 1 year has elapsed from the last date for renewal. Excuse me. The fine shall be $25. No, oh, that's not bad, actually, in Pennsylvania. Basically, if your driver's license is expired, but you're still within a year, only a $25 fine, and you gotta renew your license. That's pretty good. That's pretty good in terms of leniency. No person charged with violating subsections A or B shall be convicted if the person produces at the office of issuing authority within 15 days of the violation a driver's license valid in this Commonwealth at the time or in violation of, or if the driver's license is lost, stolen, destroyed, or ineligible, evidence that the driver was licensed at the time of the violation. So there you go. There's the law that says you need a driver's license. Oops, wrong one.
You can be able to drive this vehicle away from here.
Do I have insurance on it? But the vehicle is definitely insured.
By who?
What you mean by who?
By who? What insurance company?
I can mail it in if you want.
Oh no, I would like it right now.
Well, I don't have it on me right now, but I will definitely mail it in to you.
No.
I've already dealt with this before. Can you call the sheriff then? Because I don't want to get harmed. I don't want to get harassed or anything. I'm just traveling, got off work. I'm not doing anything, you know, I don't want to cause any problems here.
All right, just sit tight for me, all right?
What's going on, sir?
Doing fine. Just trying to figure out what the emergency is. Gave the guy my identification card.
What's that?
I gave the guy my identification card.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was just asking him what's the emergency. I don't see, I'm traveling on the highway. He's asking me for a license, and I understand, but I'm not conducting commercial activity.
You don't have to be conducting commercial activity. When you are
United
operating a
States
vehicle, you are driving. If you are driving on
Commercial
public roads, you
activity.
need a license.
Definition to you.
I feel like a fucking
To
broken
me, by
record.
law, under
I don't
United
know what
States,
commercial activities.
under Title 28, under Title 18, United States Code 31. Used for commercial. You can read that if you want. Used for commercial purposes mean a fair fee
Shylock,
rate.
thanks for the 100 bits.
So if I was a Pizza Hut driver, I would need a license plate with a commercial driver's license because I will be conducting commercial purposes.
Honestly, if I was dealing with this person, I'd be like, you just said you were driving from work, so you were driving from your place of employment to home. Boom, commercial purpose. Suck it.
This is like a Uber driver, a taxi driver, UPS driver. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I'm traveling. I don't want to cause no problems. I'm just trying to head home. Just got off work.
Where you work at, man?
Where I work?
Yeah.
The Hyatt.
The Hyatt?
Yep. Hyatt Regency. You know, I'm not trying to cause no problems. Just traveling on the road. You know.
They think about, and they just repeat it over and over. Like at some point, the cop will be like, "Oh, traveling, right? That's legal then. Have a good day." No matter how many times you use the word traveling, it's not going to make this click in their head because there's nothing to click. It's a fantasy. You are misreading the law. Stop breaking the law, asshole, as Jim Carrey once said.
Got you.
I gave him my identification card.
Where'd you get that identification card?
The Moorish nation state.
The what?
Moorish nation state.
Where's that at?
Morocco on this land.
Huh?
Here, America.
America?
Yes.
Who issued it to you?
North America. What do you
North
mean?
America issued it?
North America issued it. You know, those North American driver's licenses that the federal government issues. The states issue driver's licenses.
Issued it to you?
No, what you mean who issued it to me?
How did you obtain that identification card?
What do you mean how do I obtain it?
He means, where did you get it? He's trying to investigate who gave this to you and show you that it's not legal for some random person to sell you a driver's license. Driver's license.
I mean, is he calling the sheriff? Because I don't want to get injured or hurt just because I'm traveling in
You're
my
not
car.
in any danger of getting hurt or injured.
I just want to make sure, man.
I agree. He should turn his fucking blinker off. Or if that's like his emergency thing, he should turn it off. You're pulled over, the lights are on behind you, you're fine.
Man, it's a lot of cops for, it's a lot of policy enforcers for one.
You know, it's kind of quiet tonight. We're all here.
One issue. Yeah, I understand. You know, I'm not trying to cause no problems or nothing.
Are you a resident here in Pennsylvania?
No, I'm not a resident.
Not a resident.
No, sir.
You don't live anywhere.
In my body, I do live.
Live in your.
I live in my body. I mean, can't argue with you there. Where does that body reside, sir?
Body.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart ass.
Makes me think of that Tim Minchin song.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sure that we.
I just want to hear what you got to say.
This is my body, and I live in it. I don't even know Tim Minchin.
Just trying to make sure we don't have no problems. That's all I want to. Trying to get home peacefully. I gotta
Where's
be.
your home at?
Where's my home?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to my uncle's home.
Do you live here in Center?
My uncle?
Yeah.
My uncle, yeah, he stays down the street. My uncle does.
What are my politics? I'm leftist.
Okay.
I gotta go to this dentist appointment tomorrow.
Dentist appointment. What you got going on?
Tooth, man. But yeah, I'm just not trying to cause no trouble. There's a lot
Has
of.
anybody ever else stopped you before?
Yeah.
Happen all the time?
No. Most of the New Sewickley, they got behind me before and trailed me for a little bit, and then they went away.
Honestly, that's the interesting thing about this movement, the sovereign citizen thing, is if I'm a cop, I would never be a cop. But if I were a cop, and if I were a bastard, if I were a cop, and I see a guy in front of me with some bullshit sovereign citizen license plate or Moorish citizen license plate, am I really gonna be like, is this gonna be worth all the fucking paperwork? Is this gonna be worth me filling out the paperwork after I have to smash this guy's window? Because it's gotta be like a 30%, 40%, 50% chance you're gonna smash this dude's window because he refuses to, like, comply with the traffic stop, right? I would be like, oh, I got other shit to do tonight, right? I don't want to be sitting at my desk filling out tons of shit about, like, oh, the perp refused to give me his license. He continued, blah, 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 blah. Had to apply use of force. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Not worth it.
Got stopped in Carnegie and told the guy what I was telling you. And
how do I feel about trade policies, like free trade agreements?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Oh boy, that's complicated. I think free trade agreements can be good, but if you have the free flow of capital, then in order to make sure that the markets don't favor capital, you need to then also have free movement of labor. Otherwise, you just wind up with nations like China that have what is effectively slave labor, if not in actual practice slave labor, what is effectively it. So, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
have a
Daddy Sume with 10 bits. Yeah, but Hannah, so much of your job is paperwork. You would get used to it. Yeah, that's one of the many reasons I wouldn't be a cop. I don't want to fill out that much fucking paperwork.
nice day. That's why I'm trying to make sure we don't have no problems or anything.
In terms of, like, trade, I think protectionist policies are a bad idea because it's basically stalling the inevitable. We are inevitably moving towards a globalized society, both economically and socially, and trying to hide in the past and try and act like it's 1950 and that you can get a manufacturing job and do whatever. It's not reasonable. So what you need to do is continue to push forward, and if you're going to have free trade agreements, which can be a good thing for people, then you also need to allow them to move around the globe and find labor markets that benefit that labor. That way you have people moving places with better labor markets, and it's going to sort of balance out those markets, right? That way capital doesn't have too many cards on the table.
You know, I didn't injure nobody, I didn't hurt nobody.
True. And forced labor camps like the Uyghurs in China are a form of slavery. True.
But I understand y'all understand, you know.
Yeah, you know how this goes.
Some you know, some people don't. Some people have a different understanding of things, you know what I'm saying? And I completely understand that. I just try and make sure I
Yeah,
don't
not
get.
everybody's gonna have the same views.
Yeah, I'm not just not trying to. But I mean, that's United States code of law. That's your guys is the guys y'all operate out of that y'all code of law. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I'm not. I'm not making nothing up. I'm not trying to
I got you, man.
be a hard ass or smart addict or nothing.
No, you
You
don't
know.
give me any attitude.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure I secured in my property, and I'm not running stop signs or, oh no, man, you don't have to abide by the rules. Nah, I understand, definitely abide by,
Okay,
oh,
but
do
you
care
don't
that
because you're
everybody
not
on the
abiding
road.
by them.
You know
You
what I'm
said you
saying?
think
You
you
do
don't have
follow
to have a
certain-
license, a license
Oh, yeah,
plate,
yeah.
or insurance, and you do.
Vehicle code,
Yeah.
motor vehicle.
Motor vehicle codes.
Well, I don't fall under motor vehicle, do
Well,
I?
a stop sign is a motor vehicle code.
Well, that's due care to the public. I don't want to just be running stop signs. It's not
Yeah,
that I
but
follow motor
That's what it
vehicle.
falls under.
Yeah, but it's
Pennsylvania State Motor Vehicle Code.
well, I don't want to get tangled up here, but what I'm saying is I owe due care to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So motor vehicle, I don't deal with motor vehicle because I don't have a motor vehicle,
What do you call this?
an automobile.
An automobile.
Right.
That's a motor vehicle. They're synonyms. They're synonyms.
A conveyance.
Why are you anti-immigration? I agree. That's a very leftist policy.
Conveyance.
Yeah.
Oh God, are you a tanky? No, don't be a tanky, friendo. Not good.
I don't I don't just be flying. Oh, you don't have to run stop signs because you don't have to pass stop. Nah, that's because if you hit somebody, then
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't want no trouble from. I just don't want y'all. I don't want y'all to be trying to harm me just because
Nobody wants to harm you here.
I don't have no commercial driver's license. I don't even. That's not the identification I use, because that's not. Now if I was a Pizza Hut driver, I probably
What do you do out there at the Hyatt?
engineer.
Engineer?
HVAC.
What's that?
HVAC.
What's that?
HVAC.
Yeah, what do
Air
you do?
conditioner systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long you been doing that for?
A minute now.
That's what
About
Baja
3
Blast's
years.
dad does for a living. Does
Like it?
HVAC stuff.
Yes. So settle.
All right, man. Hang tight. We'll be back
Is
up.
everything gonna be cool though? Like.
It's not my stop. I just want to come up and talk to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey, sir. Do you have any other paperwork in the car with your physical name written on it?
No,
Like a piece of mail or registration,
no. I
insurance
don't.
card?
No. I
Nothing
wouldn't.
else?
Nah.
What about like an ID tab for the Hyatt? You got a name tag at the Hyatt?
Nah, I keep that in my locker there.
No, you don't got like a badge or anything that you wear there?
Nah, we don't. We're not. We don't have an airport badge because we're just attached to the airport. I don't go across TSA, so
Okay.
we just got a little name tag.
Okay, what's the name on your name tag say?
What? Sorry, now I'm just reacting to chat. Unskilled immigration does not lead to higher cost of living. Rent-seeking behavior of people who buy property to be landlords increases property. What? You think that someone illegally immigrating and then living in a really, really shitty apartment somewhere is raising the cost of... What are you talking about? Oh, no.
Malik Michael Khalif Bey. That's my job. The same appellation right here.
Uh-huh.
That's what I go by at my job. That's what they call me. If
Well,
you go to
okay,
Hyatt,
what's your birth name? What was the name given to you at birth by your parents?
And no, immigration of low-skill workers does not depress the income of low-skilled workers. What you should be blaming that on is capitalists who want to pay the bare minimum and who have broken up unions in this country.
Like on your written birth certificate?
on my written birth certificate.
Yeah.
I don't have a birth certificate.
What policies do you believe in that are left-leaning that you consider yourself center-left?
Everybody in the world has a birth certificate.
I don't have a birth certificate.
So you don't have a social security number attached to you either?
No.
Well, here's the deal, man. We can't find any record of you.
If you go to my job and you look on anniversaries, or if you want to call Allegheny County and be like, oh, can you check if it's a Malik there? And they can check, and it's gonna say, oh, happy week anniversary. We post everybody anniversaries on the wall. It's gonna say Malik Bay. That's exactly what it's gonna say on there. Sometimes they call me Michael.
Okay.
I tell them to call me Michael sometimes.
Who's William Taylor Real?
You support government services, welfare, and taxes.
You handed me this.
So
paper.
just like a
Yeah, I was
reasonable,
just
that's
showing
not
you,
left, that's just wanting a
that's a senator,
functional
House of
government.
And the guy there, I guess he got
Although in
into an
fairness, with how
altercation.
far right the right has
And
gotten in this
I guess he
country,
knew
I
the,
guess having a functional government
whoever
is
that
a
senator
left-leaning
is
position,
from
I guess,
Commonwealth
at
of
this point,
Pennsylvania.
isn't it?
And she was telling
Jesus.
the judge of what was that's listed on that paper. So William Taylor Rail would be, I guess, a resident of PA. I don't know. That's what I found just in my private research. I do a lot of just researching and everything.
Whose car is this? Or automobile is this?
Whose automobile?
Yeah.
No, it would be mine.
Did you buy it?
What you mean, did I buy it?
Did you buy it from a dealership?
No.
How'd you get it?
What you mean, how'd I get it?
How did you come to be driving this vehicle in your possession?
I'm not driving the vehicle.
How is this vehicle in your possession? You agree you possess this vehicle right now?
I made a trail. I mean,
Huh?
I made a trade for it.
What does that mean?
A trade?
Yeah.
For lawful United States money, I made a trade.
You made a trade?
Yeah.
What'd you trade?
Federal Reserve notes in lieu of lawful United States money.
Okay, who did you make that trade to?
Some guy, I don't know his name.
Okay. Did you run his VIN?
Do I have a
No,
Discord? Yeah, hold on, let me get you a link. It's not just my Discord, it's when I share with another streamer because we do a YouTube channel together also. But here it is. There it is. Oh, there was already a Discord command. That'd do it.
Is there a problem? Like,
Can you move this piece of paper, please?
and what's the issue?
Who you are?
Well, can
who
you
this,
call this-
Who this car is registered to?
Can y'all call the sheriff? The car's not registered.
Oh, that's not a good thing to admit to the cops. They're gonna take your car. Daddy sue me with 10 bits. Fuck, stop being such a dick with your fake legal knowledge. Yeah?
Why would the car be registered? That's for commercial.
No, you legally need to have your car registered.
Yeah, with that, I'll see if I can find anything from the neighboring police.
Can y'all call the sheriff? Would that be fair? Cause I don't want to get. I'm not trying to get hurt, man. Tonight I'm just getting off work.
Besides body control,
I'm not sure. What do you want the sheriff for?
Cause he's the lawful officer. The sheriff
Not in the state of Pennsylvania. He is not.
not in the state of
Not in the state
Pennsylvania.
of Pennsylvania.
So
The
who?
sheriff does not have investigation or arrest powers in the state of Pennsylvania, Mr. Beck.
Oh, okay.
In neighboring states, in states that are in southern states and states that are more towards the California area, it is backwards, and a sheriff's deputy has, and the sheriff himself has much more power than they do here. But in the state of Pennsylvania,
I think a lot of states, the sheriff basically runs the jail and stuff. I don't know if... Let me see. Sheriff versus police. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the sheriffs running the local jail and the police are the investigatory body. What's the difference between a deputy sheriff and a police officer? The main difference between a deputy sheriff and a police officer is jurisdiction. A police officer is solely responsible for the prevention of crime within their city limits, whereas a deputy sheriff is responsible for an entire county, which would include multiple small towns and several larger cities, so it's also jurisdictional. No matter how you feel about law enforcement these days, let's face it, most of the time we try to follow the law, and we expect the people in our lives to follow the law too. The present importance of the law is why we need people in our society who make sure it's upheld. And in America, blah, 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 blah. The term cop or police officer can refer to a patrol officer, a correctional officer, or a sheriff's deputy. Patrol officers are men and women in the classic blue uniforms whose jobs include the pursuit and arrest of criminals, response to emergency and non-emergency calls, and enforcing motor vehicle and criminal laws. Patrol officers can also be appointed to a special unit, such as a motorcycle, canine corps, or SWAT team. The major difference between a patrol officer and a sheriff's deputy is the area of jurisdiction. Sheriff's deputies specifically operate within a county, and their responsibilities are quite similar to those of a patrol officer. Patrol officers usually work within the jurisdiction of a city or town, though they can also work for a state, county, hospital, college, transit district, or any other governmental organization that has the ability to create its own law enforcement branch. Let's move on to the role of sheriff. A sheriff is an elected official and is essentially the CEO of the sheriff's department. Most sheriffs operate under the county government. In fact, the only state without sheriffs is Alaska, which has no counties. The word sheriff is actually a portmanteau of shire reeve, which was the tax collector in medieval England. These days, some sheriffs are still the tax collectors for their counties, but sheriff responsibilities can vary greatly from state to state. In some states, their position is largely ceremonial and essentially just includes serving papers and providing security for the courts. In other states, the sheriff is also in charge of the county jail, which I think is the case in Michigan where I live, which is why I was thinking county jail. And most states look to the sheriff's office to provide general law enforcement services. Okay, gotcha. So it varies.
Commonwealth, the sheriff does not share the same powers that a police officer would share.
Oh, okay.
He would have less powers than a police officer.
I was just making sure because I don't want to get
I
harmed.
understand.
You know, I'm not trying to cause a big ruckus tonight. You know, I don't want to get harmed. My property's stolen. I'm just traveling from work.
No one in this group that's standing here is going to harm you.
I just got to make sure, man, because I
understand.
don't know who I harmed or why.
You have not, as far as we're concerned right now, you have not harmed any of us, and we are not going to harm you, cause any injury to you, or anything of that nature. We are not going to do
All
anything.
right, I just want to keep that grounded because I don't want my property stolen. I use this to get back and forth to work.
We don't want to take your property. We don't want to harm you. We don't want to do any of that to you. Just understand that we also have a job that we have to
Yes,
do.
I do understand that. I'm just trying to make sure we, you know.
I understand you. And to operate
At least the cop
motor
is
vehicle,
patient
to
with this
operate
idiot. That's good.
Any form of vehicle in the state of Pennsylvania.
I do
you have
like
to have
I do
registration.
like when the sovereign citizens and the Moorish citizens get a cop that has the patience to deal with them. Because, well, they are idiots. And, yeah, this guy deserves citations and shit for driving without a license. Boy, some of these cops have absolutely no fucking patience for anyone. Like, I get that they're idiots, but being an idiot doesn't mean you deserve to have your fucking life fucked up, you know?
Which you do not have.
The Supreme Court does not say that at all. That was from the House of Representatives. She said that.
But that also does not have your name on it, though, sir. That has a different name on it. If your name is Malik Bey, I believe it was Malik Bey, correct? Well, I don't remember your middle names you had in between.
That
says Mr. William Real.
Yeah, that has nothing to do. They're talking about law. Period. They're talking about law. Period. Not Mr. Rail. Mr. Rail was just something that happened. I have come to my known. If you keep reading, this representative is talking about law for everybody. If you don't know the law, then that was up to you. An individual, she didn't say Mr. Rail, or he didn't say Mr. Rail. An individual who wishes to utilize an automobile or other means of conveyance in order to exercise his right to travel cannot lawfully be required to obtain a license to drive or to register his automobile in order to operate it freely on the roads.
And I'm not
trying to like, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that
I'm pretty sure I've read this court decision before, and for one thing, it's not a Supreme Court decision, at least not a, like, United States Supreme Court decision. I'm pretty sure the one he's quoting from is a state Supreme Court decision, which of course only applies to that state. And not only that, but sovereign citizens will often misread this and say that it means they can't license me for anything, when in fact it actually says you can't arbitrarily hand out driver's licenses, because the case was about, this is before, this was a case from 1930, I believe. The case was about a county sheriff, because this was prior to states handling driver's licenses. It was being done on the county level. Thank you, Danzing Israelis, for following. So a county sheriff was like arbitrarily deciding who in the county could have driver's licenses, and it was like nepotism. So he was like, hey, you're my bud, you're my nephew, I'm gonna give you a driver's license. Oh, that guy's black and I'm racist. No, you can't have a driver's license. So the Supreme Court of that state basically said you can't do that. You can't arbitrarily hand out driver's licenses, which sovereign citizens will take that specific section and cherry pick and say, see, you can't arbitrarily decide who gets to drive on public roads, when you actually read the decision, it continues on to say, the state and county, however, can create a driving test that anyone can take, and as long as it's a universal standard and it's not like bias in favor of like a certain group of people, it doesn't involve this nepotism, that's lawful. That's fine. The state providing a test and deciding if you get a driver's license based on your driving ability, A-okay. Totally fine. The Supreme Court has found that. It's just you can't arbitrarily decide who gets a license.
I don't have the, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? I cannot dispute whoever the representative is.
Right.
Okay? So,
Narbocals, thanks for
what
following.
we're going to do this evening. All right. If you cooperate with us, we'll cooperate with you. Okay? And so far you are semi-cooperating with us. You're not harming us. We're not going to harm you. So this is what we're going to do.
So you're gonna try and steal my property and
I'm
demobilize me?
Did I say that I was going to tow your car or steal your property?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to respect you if you respect me, and let me speak, and I'll let you speak. Okay. So what we're going to do this evening is you're traveling to a residence here in Center Township, correct?
Yes, down the road.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do this evening is when we're finished conducted with our business, I'm not going to take your car. Okay. We're going to allow you to travel to your residence here in Center Township.
Right.
Okay. I'm not going to steal your property. I'm not going to take your car. Officer Chacon is going to issue the traffic citations for the violations that we feel that you're in violation of the law that we feel. Okay. You are more than welcome to plead not guilty to those and bring it to court with your paperwork and have the judge rule. If you beat us, then you beat us, and maybe we learn something that we don't really know. All right. But as far as what we're doing here, that's how we're going to do the paperwork for this. Okay.
This is a reasonable way to handle someone like this. Because you're never going to convince them they're sitting in their car that they're wrong. They're wrong, but you're not going to be able to convince them, especially considering you're a cop, and they're not going to believe what you have to say. So you say to them, okay, we're going to give you tickets, and if you disagree, we'll go in front of a judge. Because at the very least, I feel like sovereign citizens and Moorish citizens, I think they believe things coming out of the mouth of a judge more so than they do a cop, right? Which I think is pretty universal. I'd trust a judge more than I would a cop, if that makes sense. Because at the very least, a judge has gone to, like, law school, and they're going to know what they're talking about in terms of the law. That's pretty much how you should do it. Here's your tickets. If you disagree, we'll be in court for you. There's your court date. One and done. There you go. Don't have to smash anybody's window.
And with your cooperation, we're not going to hassle you about towing your car, because legally, by the state of Pennsylvania, we can tow your vehicle. And I'm not going to hassle you. I'm not going to put you out like that because you said you're on your way home from work, right? I don't want to impede your ability to go to work or anything else like that. Understand?
Right, but
okay.
I dealt with it. I got pulled over by before, and they understood, and they let me go.
I'm going to be honest, and I'll help you out. If you're traveling in your vehicle and you don't have a license plate on it, you're probably going to be stopped by a lot of people. Okay, and you're going to go through this a whole bunch. So I understand that you feel that you have your right to travel without a
license. You just got here. Why do they call themselves Moorish citizens? Oh boy, that's complicated. We went over that earlier in the stream, but basically they believe that secretly black people that are in the United States are not descended from either slaves or immigrants, but in fact the true Native Americans were secretly black, and that we've been lied to about history. And they believe that because of this, that the law does not apply to them, because they are citizens of the Moorish nation, not the United States. Which, of course, is all, as Joe Biden would put it, fucking malarkey. But it's what they believe nonetheless.
My law says, or the state law for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, says that you can't travel on a vehicle without a registration plate on there, so you're going to get stopped, and it's going to be this hassle every single time. If you don't want to put a registration plate on, that's perfectly fine. That's going to be your choice. I can't force you to do it, nor am I going to try to force you to do it. Just understand that you're going to get stopped all the time if that's the case.
They've been behind me before. They veered off. I've had police.
I can't speak for anyone else other than me. And the crew of gentlemen that you see standing here today, I'm the one that's in charge of them, so I have to take accountability for them, which is why I'm the one that's speaking to you. And I'm here to make sure that none of them are going to harm you. And I'm not going to have your rights, as far as what the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania says, violated while we're standing here, which means none of these guys are going to drag you out the car and beat you or take your property if we don't have to. We're going to work with you the most that we can, as long as we keep this line of communication and this cooperation open with both of us. Okay?
Right.
All right, sir. So the name that you provided on your I don't know what you guys call it, so you're gonna have to kind of bear with me with it. I'll call it an identification card, but the card that you provided, Officer Chacon, is your correct name, and the address that's on there is the correct address where you would receive mail if I were mailing you.
Yes, that's my mailing location. Yes.
Okay.
And you said you don't have insurance at all
Huh?
for the vehicle. You don't have insurance.
I can mail it in.
So if you got into an accident like tonight, what would you give the other driver to exchange information?
What do you mean? What would I give him?
If you got into
I would give him my phone number if I didn't have it on me, and then
Right. Well, they would need your insurance information.
Well, they can get it later. Like I would definitely.
Like what company?
I'm not even sure if it's. I'm not even sure. I would. I mean, when he
State
gives
Farm, Erie.
I don't want to give you the wrong one. I'm not even
But
sure.
you do have insurance though.
Yeah.
Okay, because when I asked you before, you said no.
I didn't say no. I said I can mail it in to you, and you was like, I don't even know what you said. I said I can mail it in. That's all I said.
Okay. Because I would need a copy of that.
Right. I can mail it in.
Okay. And you don't have any registration for the vehicle.
No, I wouldn't register it because I'm not conducting commercial activity. You know.
All right, let's sit tight for me, okay?
Alrighty, man.
All right, sir. So just a couple more questions, and I'm going to have you.
There's nothing
Go on
funny
your way,
about the
okay.
tools of capitalism.
Shamrock Star, thanks for gifting a sub.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Who did you trade, or what state did you trade federal currency for this vehicle? Was it in Pennsylvania?
No. I'm not even. I can't even recall right now. I don't know. Was it?
I would remember what state
I
I
can't even
bought my
recall right now.
car in.
You don't remember?
No. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Were you living in another state before?
Yes, I lived in a few. I didn't live in a different state, but I domiciled in Texas. But
Is that where you were born?
no.
No.
Yeah, I can't even recall right now.
Where were you born at?
Where was I born?
Were you born in the United States?
No,
You weren't?
no.
Another country?
United States is a federal corporation.
Okay.
The United States Code of Law, Title 28,
So
Section
you weren't born in
3002,
the federal
15A.
corporation?
It says United States is not defined as a federal corporation. So I know I was not. I have a bad toothache. Like I got a dentist appointment tomorrow. That's why I'm
Hello.
like kinda,
Oh, really cute lipstick.
like I'm not even dead serious.
Baja Blast has been gone all day, and I missed her.
Did you miss me?
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Hi.
How was it? How was your drive and everything?
It was okay. Only almost got killed once.
Oh, God. I'm glad it was almost.
Yeah. Just some crazy lady that doesn't know how to drive.
I'm just trying to figure out what
Hello, everyone.
name was given to you when you were born.
When I was, what do you mean?
When you were born, what
me
name did
do.
your parents give you?
Michael. What's on that thing?
Where did you get this from?
The Moorish nation state.
There is no Moorish nation state. It doesn't exist. You've been scammed. Someone sold you a piece of paper that said the word registration on it, and you believe that it counts as a registration.
Grib.
I've never seen this before. That's why I'm asking. This is the first time I've seen it.
Yes, I understand that.
You've never been stopped or anything before? You've never been arrested for anything?
No, I don't. No, I've been stopped, but I've never been arrested at all.
All right, well, I'm going to give this back to you. I'll let you travel to wherever you're going.
That's where
But you will be receiving a bunch of citations for the moving violations in this Commonwealth.
Well, that's fine. We can go to
so
federal court and whatever.
Where do you reside right now?
That's my mailing location.
Where's your domicile?
Where's my domicile?
Yeah.
North America.
Wait a minute. Didn't you? Well, no, you said the United States was a federal corporation. So apparently your domicile is in North America, though, which is still like an arbitrary designation, right? So why do you consider that designation to be okay to say, but not, you know, your city or state or county or specific address? All of these things are more or less arbitrarily designated by human beings as to identify location, but North America's okay, but your actual address isn't, even though people understand where it is when you say your address.
That's on Spalding Street?
That's my mailing location. Yes, that's my mailing location.
But you don't stay there?
No.
You just get
I do not live there. No, I do not.
Where do you live?
I live in my body. I know it sounds...
This guy was just asked where did he live. Guess what he said?
A house.
My body.
Stupid. I'm not trying to be...
If that's how this works, I would like a change of residence, please. Easier than transition. I'll just move out of this body into another one. I'll find some non-transitioned trans man and we can just swap.
Funny or anything, but I am a human being. I do live in my body. I don't live in a house.
Where do you sleep at night?
Depends. It depends.
You don't stay in one spot?
Nah, I don't stay at one spot.
All right, well, where are you going right now?
Right now I'm going down the street right here to my...
Well, that's the end of that one, I guess. I hope that guy learns, because those cops are very, very patient, which is good, you know?